Section 1. In this section, you will hear a conversation between a residential lettings agent, Brenda, and a potential tenant, Julian Vance, who is moving for a new job and searching for a long-term rental apartment. But before that, take a moment to read the questions carefully.
Good morning, Citywide Accommodation Agency. Brenda speaking. How may I assist you today?
Hello. Good morning, Brenda. I'm calling to inquire about long-term apartment rentals in the city center. I'm relocating here for work next month and need to secure a place quite urgently. My regional HR manager actually recommended I contact your agency directly.
That's wonderful to hear. We always appreciate positive referrals. I'd be delighted to help you find something suitable. Before we start going through our database, I'll need to gather a few basic details to set up your applicant file. May I take your full name, please?
Yes, certainly. My first name is Julian, and my surname is Vance. That's spelled V-A-N-C-E.
Thank you, Mr. Vance. Got that written down. Now, regarding your preferred location, are you looking to stay right in the commercial core? Or do you have another district in mind?
Well, initially, I thought about living right next to the main commercial square, so I could walk to the financial district. However, after speaking with a colleague about the weekend nightlife noise and heavy traffic congestion, I've completely changed my mind. I'd much rather reside in the suburbs where it's quiet and peaceful, provided there are solid public transport connections to the center.
That is a very smart choice, especially if you prefer quiet evenings. And what is your expected move-in date?
My employment contract officially commences on the 1st of September, but I want to be settled before my first day on the job. Ideally, I need the tenancy agreement to start on the 28th of August to give me a few days to unpack and explore the neighborhood.
Perfect. That gives us a good target date. And how long are you planning to commit to the property?
I'll be leading a fixed-term infrastructure project for a year, so a lease duration of 12 months would be ideal. I don't want a short 6-month agreement because renewing paperwork mid-project is a hassle.
Understood. Let me filter our listings based on your preferences. Ah, excellent. A property has just become available this morning that matches your criteria almost perfectly. It's called Fairview Apartments. It's situated right next to a public park and botanical garden.
That sounds lovely. How many bedrooms does it have? Since I'm moving alone, I don't need a massive house, but I do require enough space to set up a home office for remote workdays.
It offers 2 bedrooms, which gives you plenty of flexibility to use the second room as a private study or home office space.
Fantastic. And what about building amenities? Is parking included? Or are there leisure facilities?
On-site garage parking involves an extra fee, but the monthly rent gives you complimentary access to a private indoor pool located on the ground floor, along with a resident lounge and high-speed fiber internet.
Having a pool in the building will certainly save me a gym membership. What about nearby local amenities? Is it easy to pick up everyday groceries?
Extremely convenient. While the main shopping mall is about 2 miles down the road, there's a small local convenience store situated just 500 meters away from the main entrance of the apartment complex.
That's very convenient for quick errands. What is the asking monthly rent for this property?
The landlord originally listed it at £800, but because they are keen to secure a reliable long-term tenant, they recently reduced the rent to £720 per month, excluding utility bills.
That falls right within my budget range. How do I go about reserving the property so it isn't snatched up by someone else?
To lock in the property today and remove it from our active public listings, you'll just need to pay a holding deposit of £150, which will later be deducted from your first month's rent once the formal lease is signed.
That sounds completely reasonable. Let's go ahead with that.
This was the end of the Section 1. Now use this time to check your answers and make any necessary changes. Now turn to Section 2. In this section, you will hear a detailed presentation given by a community manager, Bridget, explaining the operational schedules, facilities, and upcoming initiatives at the Eastside Community Center.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our annual Neighbourhood Open House event here at the Eastside Community Centre. My name is Bridget, and as the Facility Director, I am absolutely delighted to welcome both long-time residents and new arrivals to our venue tonight. Before you take a tour of the building, I'd like to walk you through our operational hours, room layouts, and seasonal activity options. First, regarding our operating schedule. During weekdays, from Monday through Friday, our doors open bright and early at 8 a.m. to accommodate early morning exercise groups. However, please note that on weekends, due to thorough deep cleaning procedures and staff shifts, our opening hours are adjusted. On Saturdays and Sundays, we open at 9:15 a.m. and we close promptly at 9 p.m. every single evening. Now, let's talk about navigating the building. We have multiple specialized rooms across 3 floors. If you are looking for our public computer lab, it's located immediately to the left of the front entrance reception. The Fine Arts Studio is situated up on the top floor to maximize natural sunlight. However, if you are planning to organize group meetings, public presentations, or social gatherings, our primary multi-purpose hall is located opposite the library on the ground floor. It comes fully equipped with a modular stage, sound equipment, and projector facilities. Next, I'd like to highlight our weekly instructional workshops. We offer a variety of physical and creative drop-in sessions, including morning yoga and culinary cooking classes, where you can simply show up on the day. However, due to high demand and limited equipment, our specialized weekend workshop on pottery requires mandatory prior online registration through our portal, as clay supplies and potter's wheels are strictly capped. Moving on to our cultural exhibits. Our centre hosts rotating art displays throughout the year. Last term, we featured a wonderful historical textile collection from local weavers. Currently, our main central gallery space is hosting a breathtaking exhibit dedicated entirely to modern sculpture, showcasing original pieces crafted by independent artists from across the region. In terms of cost and pricing, visitors are welcome to pay on a pay-as-you-go basis at £6 per individual session. However, if you intend to visit frequently, purchasing our all-inclusive monthly access pass is far more economical. The full fee for this comprehensive monthly pass is £18, which grants unlimited access to all basic facilities and discounts on premium masterclasses. Before I let you explore the premises, please take note of 5 essential facility rules. To ensure a quiet environment for those using our quiet study lounges, all personal mobile devices must be switched to silent mode while you are inside the building. While our front doors remain open during the daytime, for evening security purposes, all visitors arriving after 6 p.m. must enter and exit exclusively through the rear entrance located by the car park. If you require light refreshments or hot beverages during your visit, automated food and drink vending machines can be found inside the student lounge area on the first floor. While standard workshop fees apply to most adults, a reduced admission rate is granted to senior citizens upon presenting valid identification at the front desk. Lastly, don't forget that registration for our annual community talent competition is now open. All performance entries and video audition submissions must be handed in before November to be eligible for the live final.
Use this time to check your answers and make any necessary changes. Now, turn to Section 3. In this section, you will hear two university students, Gavin and Nora, consulting their research mentor, Dr. Alistair, regarding their upcoming field project on urban biodiversity. Now you have some time to read the questions from 21 to 25.
Good morning, Gavin, Nora. Come in and take a seat. I've reviewed your initial project outline for the urban ecology module. Let's dive straight into your research direction. What species group did you ultimately choose to focus on?
Good morning, Dr. Alistair. Well, initially, we spent a lot of time debating whether to study urban fox territories or map bird migration pathways through public municipal parks. However, after reading recent journals, we realized both of those topics have been exhaustively documented. We decided it would be much more valuable to investigate urban bat populations instead, because their nocturnal roosting habits in modified city environments remain significantly under-researched.
Excellent decision. Bats present a fascinating case study for urban adaptation. What about your field methodology? Have you encountered any logistical hurdles?
Yes, quite a few. While drafting our budget, Nora and I realized that purchasing specialized acoustic detection equipment, specifically high-frequency ultrasonic recorders, was going to consume more than half of our department grant allocation. That forced us to carefully plan where we deploy them.
Acoustic monitoring gear is notoriously expensive. Where do you plan to set up these recording arrays?
We managed to secure research access to a protected wetland and woodland reserve situated near Bristol. It offers an ideal geographical transition zone between dense urban structures and natural forest habitat.
Perfect location choice. Now, regarding how you present your final analytical findings to the examination committee, what is your presentation strategy?
We were thinking of including all our raw statistical spreadsheets directly in our main slide deck so the panel can inspect every data point.
I strongly advise against that. Presenting dense spreadsheets during a live presentation will only confuse your audience. Instead, you should synthesize your data into a single, highly visual spatial map on your key slides. That will allow the board to instantly grasp the geographical distribution of bat activity.
That makes complete sense. We'll convert the coordinate data into a spatial map. When would you like us to submit our updated draft write-up?
If you can email me your complete draft by Thursday evening, I'll have enough time to review it over the weekend and give you detailed feedback on Monday morning.
That gives us 3 days to polish the text, which is plenty of time. Could we also quickly review our progress on evaluating those 5 local urban biodiversity initiatives?
Of course. Let's go through them one by one. What was your assessment of green roof installations on downtown office buildings?
The ecological monitoring figures were remarkable. The volume of insect species recorded on those vegetated roofs actually surpassed initial expectations set by the municipal planners by over 20%.
That's very encouraging. What about the artificial roosting boxes installed in suburban public parks?
While public sentiment toward the boxes is very positive, we felt the council's claim that roosting boxes single-handedly reverse population decline requires further statistical proof before we can endorse it in our academic report.
As for establishing continuous corridors of native wildflowers along busy highways, both Gavin and I concluded that creating uninterrupted ecological pathways is essential for practical implementation of any serious urban conservation plan.
What about installing high-frequency ultrasonic deterrents near electrical power lines?
We tried to analyze their effectiveness, but modeling acoustic reflection patterns against concrete structures in high-density areas proved too complex for current scope of an undergraduate project.
And finally, regarding neighborhood-managed community orchards, our collected survey data clearly showed that they are highly effective in urban areas, particularly for getting local residents actively involved in community-led environmental care.
Superb analysis from both of you. Get that draft to me by Thursday, and we'll keep moving forward.
This was the end of the section 3. Now check your answers carefully. Section 4. In this section, you will hear a university lecture delivered by a guest professor, detailing the historical development, organizational shifts, and technological breakthroughs in industrial manufacturing over the past 2 centuries. But before that, you have some time to read the questions from 31 to 40.
Good afternoon, students. In today's lecture, we will examine the transformative evolution of industrial manufacturing across the 19th, 20th, and 21st centuries, a historical trajectory marked by continuous technological innovation, dramatic workplace restructuring, and profound economic transformation. During the onset of the early Industrial Revolution in the 19th century, manufacturing shifted rapidly away from small-scale cottage workshops towards centralized, steam-powered production plants. While early innovations focused heavily on mechanical machinery and iron casting, factory owners quickly realized that sustained production depended on steady raw material supply chains. Among these materials, timber emerged as an indispensable natural resource, serving not only as fuel for early steam boilers, but also as essential structural timbering for heavy factory construction and machinery casing. Concurrently, factory managers realized that technological efficiency meant little without operational order on the shop floor. Consequently, management prioritized the strict discipline of factory workers, above all else, to maintain rigid shift rotations and minimize costly machinery downtime. By the early decades of the 20th century, modern industrial engineering underwent another massive paradigm shift, with the arrival of assembly line mass production, pioneered most famously in automotive manufacturing. This system dismantled traditional artisan craftsmanship in favor of extreme task specialization. Factory managers systematically redesigned assembly jobs to eliminate required technical skill, engineering operational tasks down to minimal complexity, so that individual workers perform simple, highly repetitive mechanical movements throughout their shifts. At the same time, developments in material science reshaped consumer product manufacturing. Synthetic polymers and plastic became the dominant materials of the post-World War II consumer boom. Manufacturers favored plastic not merely because of its exceptionally low chemical production costs, but also for its remarkable structural durability and versatility in mass-producing lightweight goods. Furthermore, global distribution systems expanded at an unprecedented rate. The rapid geographical movement of manufactured goods across international ocean routes was accelerated by the invention of standardized shipping containers, which revolutionized maritime freight logistics and drastically lowered international trade costs. As the late 20th century approached, increasing environmental awareness and rising operational expenses led manufacturers to abandon wasteful mass storage models in favor of lean manufacturing techniques. To eliminate bloated warehouse inventories and minimize storage overheads, forward-thinking corporations adopted just-in-time inventory systems, ensuring that raw material shipments arrived at the facility precisely when needed for assembly rather than sitting idle in storage yards. In parallel, rising energy costs forced an overhaul of factory power management. Industrial facilities updated their heating, ventilation, and machinery systems to significantly reduce overall electrical consumption through automated monitoring technology. Environmental compliance also forced factories to rethink industrial waste. The implementation of closed-loop recycling systems allowed chemical processing plants to dramatically curb operational pollution released into surrounding ecosystems. Simultaneously, management practices on the factory floor underwent a humanized transformation. Modern industrial managers sought to eliminate the hazardous conditions of 19th-century workplaces, putting heavy emphasis on safeguarding employee health through ergonomic tool design, automated safety barriers, and air quality controls. Looking ahead toward the future of manufacturing, 21st-century production builds upon these lean and modern engineering foundations with one single, overarching objective: achieving full end-to-end digital automation across all assembly, quality control, and supply chain management operations.
This was the end of the section 4. Now check your answers carefully.